Degree Showcase. My name is Pat Bishop, and I am the Director of Graduate Studies here at Full Sail. I just celebrated 15 years here, and it's been a blast. And I know you guys are probably really excited about hearing more about what we're doing at Full Sail, including this evening of just learning more about the graduate degrees. So before I bring the other guests on stage, just keep in mind that you can get a master's degree at Full Sail in 12 months. And that's really important because most schools, it's going to take you 2 to 3 years. When I went back to school to get my MBA, it took me about 3 years. It was worth it, but getting that master's degree is not an easy thing. So you guys, I commend you for being interested enough in your career to be here today. So bottom line, we have 12 master's degrees at Full Sail. And we're going to bring up some of our experts here who are the program directors that oversee the various master's programs. So with that said, I would like to invite you guys up to the stage. Okay, everyone. So would you, Rebecca, we'll start with you. Just the name of your degree program and anything else you want to talk about yourself.
Hi, my name's Rebecca Lease, and I work in the Mobile Gaming Masters. I am not the program director, but I am one of the course directors in the program. I teach usability engineering.
Hey, I'm Noelani Cornell. I manage the creative writing MFA, and we also have a BFA, which is both campus and online. I'm just reaching my 11th year here at Full Sail, and so I was here when we launched both degrees and write every course, and so I'm hoping that I can answer any questions that you may have regarding the writing degrees.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ann Russell, and I am the program director of the Film Production MFA program here at Full Sail University. And I've been here almost 10 years. And I think the MFA in film production is one of the more recent of the graduate programs to be added. But I'm really excited to tell you guys all about it today.
Good afternoon. I'm Robin Coman. I'm the department chair of the Game Design Master of Science program. I've been at Full Sail like Pat for 15 years, and I'm happy to be in my 10th year with Game Design Master of Science.
Hi, everybody. My name is Heather Torres. I'm the program director for the Entertainment Business Masters program as well as the Business Intelligence Masters program. So I'll be sharing information about both of those programs with you guys today. I think that you'll find, no matter what your background is, that both of those degrees are helpful to give you some knowledge on how to run a business and how to be successful doing your creative endeavors.
Hi, everyone. My name is Don Larson. I'm the program director of the Media Design Master of Fine Arts degree and the Instructional Design and Technology Master of Science degree here at Full Sail. And I've been here for 10 years this Saturday. Thank you. And I'm pleased to be able to, and excited to tell you about both of our programs in those areas. Thank you.
Hello. Can you hear me? Okay, good. My name is Ryan Keitland. I am the program director for New Media Journalism Master of Arts, Public Relations Master of Arts, and Innovation Entrepreneurship Master of Science. And I'm part of the 10-year club here in August. So it's very, a lot of us here have taught here as well and have held a lot of different positions. We know a lot about the university in general, and hopefully we can find something that's going to fit both our audience here and those online. So don't be afraid to ask any questions that you have.
Hi, I'm Rob Kroll. I'm the program director for digital marketing. I've been here for 10 years. The program's been around for just a little over 10 years. I was the second person hired. So I know a lot of the history of the program. And I think, all of these programs are great things for you to consider. And like Ryan said, we're just here to answer your questions and help you make sure you're making the best decision.
Okay, thank you. So what, I would like each of you to kind of give your feedback on what you consider to be let me back up. Talk about your projects, because I think a lot of us, forget that we work on a lot of projects, but I would really love to hear at the master's level the types of projects that your students are undertaking. Start with whoever wants to start.
I'll start.
No, Lonnie did.
So creative writing, Master of Fine Arts, you can guess that all of our subjects, the projects have to do with writing. What's unique about this creative writing MFA is that it's multimedia storytelling. So it's learning how to create a story, but then depending upon, the means you need to reach your audience, whether it be a television script or a film script, or even things like AV scripts for commercials, writing for things like, advertising or marketing. It's about developing a message, knowing who your audience is, and then choosing the best medium, to which you would, communicate that message. So that's it in a nutshell with us.
So in the Game Design Master of Science program, we have what we call a capstone. It's an 8-month final project that our students participate in. And we have 2 internal game studios that create games. They're serious games, like for Games for Good, Games for Change, educational games, as well as games for entertainment. So we release on mobile and release on Steam. Hopefully we'll have some console-based releases coming out soon in the next year. In addition to the 2 game studios, I also have students who work as producers with the undergraduate degrees in game development and game design. The team working in game development is working on a project right now for NASA, which is really exciting. And then we also have a really state-of-the-art user experience research lab where some of our students choose to work as researchers. It's basically, I call it the science side of game design. Evaluating players to see if they're actually having the experience that we've tried to create, running tests, documenting data, creating reports. So there are a lot of different opportunities for our students to work on their own projects as well as projects for clients, which is very exciting.
I'd like to follow that up just because our masters, I'm in the mobile gaming masters, and it's very similar to the game design masters, but it's more development heavy, and it's also mobile gaming focused. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a game, but it could be like a serious game, something very similar. We kind of go through the whole process, so if you're interested in being an indie developer, you kind of get to touch all the different parts of the game design and game development process. There are elements within the mobile gaming masters that will mirror a lot of the other stuff if you've been here for your bachelor's, but we kind of go into a more in-depth, more technical look into a lot of the same topics.
So in the film production MFA program, we have a variety of projects that our students work on. Mostly it's filming projects, obviously. There are between 4 and 6 classes where the final main project in the class is a video film project short that's done as a collaborative effort between everybody involved in the class. We additionally have classes where writing is the focus, so those projects may involve writing a script or editing, doing a second revision on them. Additionally, we have what's called our thesis project, which all the class, everyone in the cohort works on together, and most students by the time that they finish will have worked on a variety of thesis projects. They'll oftentimes volunteer to work in the lower positions as they're getting experience so that by the time they do their own thesis, they have the knowledge in order to do their projects. And our thesis track is usually about 5 months long in length. So of the program they're working on their thesis for 5 months.
So in the digital marketing master's program, we have a capstone project too. We have the students at the very beginning choose a company or an organization that they want to use as their case study. And then in every course along the way, they're working on some project that will end up being parts of the capstone project. So the capstone project is essentially a thesis. So it's a big deal. So, some of them are 80 pages long. But the beauty is you've been working on that all the way through the program. So when you get to the end, you just have to pull all those pieces together and refine them. So in every course, there will be something that would fit into that capstone project.
In the media design program, the focus is really on, well, of course, media design is such a broad field. People work in video, in web development, and mobile. So our focus is really on brand development because a lot of our clients will be corporations where we need to be able to communicate their brand identity. And so at the master's degree level, we get really involved in deeper levels of research to understand target audiences and how to communicate to those target audiences using all the different media that we have available. And it's a very exciting program. It goes very quickly. 1 year is a very fast pace. So what we've recently introduced are little design sprints, which give the students a chance to try out all the different kinds of software applications that we have available, and that gets really exciting, and a lot of our students will latch on to one particular one and really run with it. So toward the end of our program, we allow that the students will do a thesis project where they're using their research and some of their earlier experiences to develop a multimedia campaign. And they come out with a beautiful portfolio that has a lot of these little exercises and then one big, nice, meaty project. The Instructional Design and Technology program is similar, but the media assets are geared more toward education so that students are using media to create learning materials. And they could be printed pieces or pieces that are delivered through the web. Interactive media is big right now, and so are game-based learning projects. So it's a new, the field has been around for a while, but it's relatively new because the industry has moved away from textbooks to get into more interactive media, including exhibits in museums where people can actually touch things and experience things that they've never been able to do before just by reading out of a book. So we introduce our students to a lot of these new areas through looking at case studies and kind of seeing what's going on around, and then experimenting with, again, the different types of software applications that are available to create little prototypes and little, what we call learning objects, little pieces that are geared toward specific target audiences at different age levels.
Okay, I guess I'll go. So 3 of my degree programs, 2 of them are focused on arts, so new media journalism and public relations. In the new media journalism program, you work with a topic, or we call it a beat, okay, something that interests you. When you go read a news story, you go online, you click on something that is newsworthy, okay? Maybe something you're passionate about. And I think a lot of these projects up here, the goal from the program directors and the course directors are finding that passion, something that you're passionate about. That's what Full Sail is kind of built on. So we use that. We go, okay, what would interest you as a topic? Now, in the public relations program, you find a business, a company, a brand. It could be a singer, it could be somebody that you're working with locally in your community, and you'll become an advocate for them. So you'll develop a multimedia campaign focused around all the areas of public relations, social media, event, management, actually crisis communication, if something goes bad. So you're dealing with that throughout the whole program as well. And they're running concurrently. So you're learning about your individual topics while you're learning the overall general principles of public relations and journalism at the same time. So you're going through each of these topics and assignments, and as you move through the program, your topic or assignment becomes more the focal point, and the deliverables become more associated with that, where you get to your final presentation course, and you're putting the methodology together. You're putting the fine touches on it. You may have a presentation, you may have a final paper, but you're putting something that you've been working on, a labor of love, a passion, the whole time. Now, in the Innovation Entrepreneurship Master of Science degree, Ours is a little bit different because these are people that want to come in and start a business. And you might already have a business idea. Well, guess what? That's going to be your final project. You might have a general idea what you want to do. You might actually have sales. You might actually have a patent. You might actually have a business license. It could run the gambit. Well, we're going to take you where you are in that stage and get you to an acceptable, successful place 12 months later. And we'll work with people individually. It's a little bit of a different degree. So if you're interested in that, I'll be happy to answer questions on that. But mainly, we want to take your business idea and nurture it, culture it, incubate it along those steps. So you can have that final presentation, present to your potential board or investors with a business plan or the beginnings of a business plan, depending where you're on that process.
Great. So the Entertainment Business Master's degree is actually the longest running master's degree here at Full Sail. It's been around for about 12 years. And it's very similar to a traditional MBA. So if you're interested in an MBA type format, the Entertainment Business Master's would be a great format. The biggest difference between an MBA and the Entertainment Business Master's program is that all of the classes are focused on the entertainment industry. So you're learning general business strategies like marketing and leadership and finance and law, and but you're also learning about product and artist management and how to distribute entertainment products. And so you're learning about all of those things. The big capstone project at the end of the program is developing a business plan, so similar to what Ryan's degree does in innovation and entrepreneurship, but more of, with the focus on going of an entrepreneur or an entrepreneur route. So it's a portfolio piece that you can show a potential employer, or you could show a potential client if you're planning on launching your own business after graduation. So you can kind of go either direction. The other thing that you complete while you're in that program is a digital leadership portfolio. So you're developing a professional website that is centered around your personal brand. And that's something that you can include on a resume or show a potential employer or a client to showcase the professional skills that you learned throughout the program. The other program that I managed is the Business Intelligence program, which is quite different. It's a data-driven degree program. So you're learning about how to take numbers and data and lots of information and figure out what that information is telling you and putting it into a format that's visual. So you're creating, taking tons of data and putting it into different visual formats, like it could be pie charts or heat graphs or a wide range of different formats. But the capstone for that program is they start off by doing a case study analysis with real life companies that have existing data. And then they take what they learn from those case studies and apply it to an actual business. And so they then pick up a potential business that they're going to analyze and can do a complete study of what the data is telling them and then making recommendations on how to drive decisions within that organization based off of the data that's there.
So what are some of the degree programs that you guys could potentially prepare students for? If anyone wants to start on that.
I'll go first this time. So with the Entertainment Business Master's degree program, you're going to be taking, you can go into a wide range of different entertainment jobs. And so we see a lot of the students that start our program, many of them come from creative degrees, and they want to learn the business side of things so that they can create a business around their creative endeavors. So we see a lot of people that launch their own business in those areas. Many of them run recording studios and production studios. They do a lot of work in marketing or in sales. They get a lot of different jobs in different types of areas of entertainment, including sports. There's also a sports track in Entertainment Business Masters, which I forgot to mention.
Okay.
And if you chose the sports track, then you would take 3 classes in place of the traditional Entertainment Business Master's track that are focused on sports operations, sports law, and sports sponsorships. And so those students end up working for major sports organizations. Many of them go on to work for, the NFL, or they'll work for college football playoff, or they'll work for WWE. I mean, a wide range of jobs in the sports arena. And then in the Business Intelligence program, those are people that help decision makers by creating spreadsheets and graphs. So there's a lot of different things, from everything from like data analysis type jobs. Many of them become consultants. Many of them work in many different aspects of BI where they're helping decision makers solve their problems.
So I think digital marketing is very similar to that in that our students work in a wide variety of different industries. Digital marketing is not entertainment focused. So we have students who are working for insurance companies and banks and all sorts of different things. And so it's a sort of broad skill-based education. So the idea is that you should be able to take the skills and knowledge that you get from the Digital Marketing Master's program and go anywhere you want to, because almost everyone needs digital marketing. So you can work at an insurance company today, and you can go work for an auto manufacturer tomorrow, and those skills are all transferable. So I think that's one big advantage to having that kind of broad-based knowledge. And the other real option with digital marketing is you can do it anywhere because it's all online for the most part. So it gives you the flexibility to move around if you want to. It also gives you the flexibility to start your own thing. So a lot of our students are entrepreneurial, so they may start a consulting business, they may just do freelance marketing for small local businesses or nonprofits. But again, there's a lot of demand for people with those skills.
You can go, Don.
I'll go. In the media design industry, like I said before, there are so many different opportunities, and what we kind of gear our program toward is more the creative director level, because we realize that if you go through an undergraduate design program, especially like our DAD program, you're going to be well equipped to get an entry-level position. And so at the master's level, that's why we go a little bit deeper into research and writing and being able to make presentations about our work. Because most creative directors will be in managerial positions where they may be managing a staff of designers on larger projects. But be that as it may, many of our students come in from different fields. And we have some that come in from maybe they're brand developers and they've worked with designers and they've caught the bug, and want to become designers. And so we don't have, for example, a lot of universities, and especially at the master's level in media design, they'll have a portfolio requirement, and you'll only get admitted if the faculty likes your work. And we're not like that at all. We welcome people from different disciplines because we like the idea of people from different disciplines working together on projects, and people from different areas bring in new ideas. So we're open to all of that, and as we've developed the curriculum, we start out with kind of a gradual learning curve, and a lot of students that are thinking about our program are worried that they're going to come in and immediately have to learn Photoshop, InDesign, and Illustrator and begin to create magnificent things. And we start again, with exercises to get people warmed up, and as you get into maybe the middle of the program, then you start to create prototypes, and by the time you're finished with the program, you have a pretty good handle on how things are put together. So some of our students come in, and they may have a lot of industry experience already, and so they go through pretty easily and quickly, but we still challenge them when they get to the thesis project. And others will, like I said before, will find something that they're interested in. Maybe they've never done video before, and so we they'll catch on to that and work with that. So it's really a wide open field, and if you're passionate about just creating things, it's a fantastic field to be in. I myself, I've been in it for 45 years, and I've never had a dull moment. I've worked in television and book publishing and magazine publishing, and also in a few different firms. Just design offices doing different types of work. And what I found in my own experience is that I need to be able to visualize things, know how to create them, and then know how to present them. And so those are the three things that we really focus on in that program. Now, also in the Instructional Design and Technology program, I've been in that field as well, because as I developed my graphic design skills, I started to take on projects that had to do with education. So I began working with educators and writers in that field, and I learned to put together learning materials. And in fact, I just finished one recently as a freelance project where I did all the writing and production myself. So, once you develop those skills, you're very valued in many different areas, and so it's a very, very exciting thing. And in that, in the Instructional Design and Technology program, a lot of the students coming in are either teachers. We have a lot of people that are coming in out of the military that got excited about the training that they got in the military, and they want to become trainers. And we also have a lot of people that work in corporate positions where they're now training other people in their corporations. And so we're helping them to learn how to use media well, to be able to create better training materials, and to be able to assess how the people are learning from those materials. And those are the two things that are important in that particular area.
So I think very similarly, we have students come in from a variety of backgrounds. If you know anything about the way games are made, there are lots of different roles that need to be filled, from art to programming to production to audio creation, et cetera. And so, I have my fair share of programmers, my fair share of artists. I have psychologists and anthropologists, and basically they align that with the capstone that best fits their background and then what they'd like to accomplish in the industry. So I have folks who go off and are producers or project managers, and you can do that in gaming or simulation. I have some folks that are in the casino gaming industry that are in that role. I also have folks that are game designers who go off and help to create the vision and the direction and the underlying mechanics of games. The other big discipline is user experience research. So we have folks that are working in many different parts of our, what I would call, interactive media industry. So again, we have folks in casino gaming, we have folks in simulation, we have folks in the traditional AAA industry, as well as in indie and mobile parts of the industry. So there are so many different interesting avenues. We, on the simulation side, also have an increased interest in virtual reality and augmented reality. So we have opportunities within the degree, and also some grads who have gone on into those disciplines as well. So it's a very interesting time for our industry. There are lots of different paths that you could take and apply your skill sets toward.
If you like that, we have a lot of very similar stuff over in mobile gaming as well. Typically, the people that come out of that degree are geared towards more for like lead developer or probably producer or indie developers, that kind of roles. They are more for people who like to get into every single part of the gaming experience. I can tell you that the Mobile Gaming Masters is not a development degree in the fact that we will not teach you a language. We will review languages, but for the most part, you'll need to have a computer science or some kind of skill around that, and some background in computer science. But we also accept a lot of people from different backgrounds as well. I can tell you my degree, my bachelor's degree is in psychology, and I was self-taught all of my computer science skills. So I understand from that perspective as well. We have a couple of people in our program that are also, creative writers or, game designers. But for the most part, it is a game development degree.
Yeah, so like you're hearing from a lot of folks, in the film production degree program, we also accept students with a variety of backgrounds. For us, the most important skill set, honestly, for students when they're coming in is that they love and are passionate about visual storytelling, that they love filmmaking. Really, that's the passion and the drive that they need. And anything else, the more stories, life experiences they have, the better storytellers they are because they have the stories to tell. I have a bachelor's degree in German, which came in really handy. No, it didn't really. But so for that aside, once you go through the film production MFA program, you're really prepared to work in a variety of different arenas within visual storytelling, which includes movies. That could be the studio system or independent features. It can be television, which includes anywhere from narrative to reality to sports to anything else that you can think of. We also have students who go on and start their own companies, whether they've purchased sound stages and are doing multiple projects, or they do commercial work. We even have people that go out and do music videos. It just really depends. If it's got something to do with a story, a visual story, then we're qualifying them. We do in the program focus on the trio of writer, director, and producer, which are what we call the above the line positions. And that just means that we're giving them the understanding of the whole process and those particular roles in order to really understand the whole process of filmmaking. Having said that, a lot of our graduates go off and are sound designers or cinematographers or production designers, so there's really no limit to what you do with that. Most of the time when you finish our degree program, just like any other film production degree program in the world, you're really gonna kind of start at the bottom and work your way up. It's called paying your dues. It's just what we do. So most of our students who come out, unless they start their own company or they have gigs that they're already going to work at, they're probably going to work for a while as PAs or assistants, just as I did, just as everybody else I know that does. But having that experience allows you to move quicker through those roles to get to those positions that you want. And like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to come out and be making their own movies or making their own commercials or making their own music videos. It's just kind of the way that the industry works. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. So I don't know if you all have noticed that many of us have started off by saying you can do a lot of different things with this degree. Well, and that's very intentional. So we are a career college, and so our goal for our students is we want you to be employed. And the best way to do that is to cast a very wide net. So, we can all say this depending upon our particular discipline. So we have classes, teaching students how to write for film and for games and for comics and for television, but those are the entertainment focused degrees. Many students will come in with a desire to do that, but it's not an easy thing to graduate, and then the next month, you're a screenwriter. But we want you to be employed as a writer. And the same skills for a writer, they're very similar to those as a screenwriter. You need to know different types of formats depending upon the industry that you're interested in. And that's true of the entertainment industries, but there are also certain formats that you need to abide by if you're gonna work in a law office, if you're in an insurance company. It's just the whole idea for all of us, and again, mine in particular because it's writing, is that we are helping you to build your own toolkit. So we want you to be able to write in a lot of different ways for a lot of different audiences and for a lot of different purposes. So basically, another program director said, we want you all to be Swiss Army knives, meaning that you have a lot of different tools that can be used in a lot of different industries. So it's just bottom line, we want you guys to get jobs.
All right, I'll wrap it up. So to follow on Nolani's point there, very well said. I think in the journalism and PR degrees, you have a good idea of what those look like, right? So you want to be a journalist, okay? Well, what does that mean, okay? Well, in today's world, don't so much focus on the new media portion, focus on the journalism. Focus on the content creation. There's a lot of jobs that require content creation. So not just necessarily getting with on your computer screen and writing, 2,000 words on something, but it's about how does that look, on a media channel? How does that look in social media? How does that look in a tweet? How does it look in a blurb? How does it look in video or audio? How are people telling interesting stories and creating content? And those jobs are everywhere. In public relations, like I said, you're going to be working for a brand, a person, an industry where you're telling their side of the story. So those types of jobs too. Every company has some sort of public relations department or marketing department, advertising, that sort of thing, that kind of inlay with that too. I got my degree in public relations that was also kind of in journalism. So they're kind of related. They're communications degree, going back to your Swiss Army knife. It allows you to write, create, look into research. These graduate degrees are all about that. So you're going to have those letters behind your name, which means you can do a lot. You want to build your portfolio. You want to make sure that you know a lot about the subject matter, and you're becoming a sponge with all this stuff. That being said, if you want to start a business, go into IE, right? No. So innovation entrepreneurship is for students that really have an idea. Hey, I want to start my own business, or at least interested in the idea of it. If you're interested in getting into business, but you're like, I'm going to go into management, work for a company, in the entertainment industry, go see nice Heather over there. She can guide you along those tracks. They do have entrepreneurial tracks on those that fit a lot better. But if you have a goal of really starting your own company and figuring out, what does that look like? What does that entail? How do I start my own work environment? How do I protect myself against legal issues? How do I develop a team? How do I pay myself? Oh my gosh, there's too much. Who are my competitors? All that kind of stuff. Well, a lot of the fun part about starting a business is the idea generation. The bad parts are the feasibility of it. And having somebody go, you need to pivot here. You need to move here. And sometimes that's really hard for somebody who loves what they want to do and have a great idea. And hearing no in a constructive way is why you would enroll here, because you can fine-tune your project, your idea, where it will be something eventually. So the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well almost everywhere at Full Sail, but especially in this degree. So those are the kind of areas you want to get into: content creation, journalism, advocacy, and working with a company or a brand to promote an idea, a philosophy, or to start your own business would be in the innovation entrepreneurship.
I wanted to ask this question because I do see a lot of students that come into my office because it can be very stressful to do a 12-month degree. So what are some of the challenges that you guys have seen that maybe students could be better prepared for, in terms of like students that go from an undergraduate degree into a graduate degree and feel a little overwhelmed? Any comments on that?
I would say the biggest skill, the most important skill for all of our students that are in a 12-month program is that they have good time management skills. And as long as they stay on top of their work and they turn it in by the deadline, they're going to do fine in the program. But when they fall behind and they fail to turn things in on time, that's when they run into challenges. And so you just have to be committed to getting that discussion post in on Wednesday, the reply post in on Sunday, and the assignments due on Sunday as well. And that's for online. On campus, it's kind of scattered, throughout the month, but I would say that's probably the biggest skill, I would say.
I want to go next. When you get into something that you're truly passionate about, you're going to want to put all of your effort into that. And once you find that, and hopefully that lasts the rest of your life, it's that you're going to go to a job that you love doing. And no one wants to go to something that they don't want to do. And as you get into these programs, if you find yourself so passionate about it that you're letting other things slip, that's not so good either. So you have to find sort of a balance between the things that you do in school and the things that you do for during the rest of your life, with the rest of all the things that you have going on. And we're here to help our students, and I think the biggest part of an educational experience is just, as Heather pointed out, that it's all about balance and and it's a lifelong skill that you'll have. No matter what you do, it doesn't matter.
So it's interesting. It's a little bit different in my world. I think in our world, the skill that is the most important is really sort of interpersonal skills. And what I mean by that is it's really about collaboration in effort. I think a lot of artists come into film school and there's a lot of concern about, am I an artist? Do I have what it takes to make it in this industry? There's a lot of self-doubt. And That's very normal. There's no problem with that. But the truth of the matter is, and I tell this to people all the time, I can name 1 million people that work in our industry that have not an ounce of talent. Seriously. There's lots and lots of jobs in the industry, and they don't all require talent. And the problem is when you come in and you're worried about your own artistry, then when you get constructive criticism, or when you have to work with other people and collaborate with them, and you're very clear about your vision, and you don't necessarily agree with someone else's ideas, there can be conflict. And so for us, it's almost like you have to step back from your own self-doubt and just say, you know what? I believe in myself, and I realize that and recognize that I work in an industry, and this is an industry I want to get into that is collaborative, where I will have to work with a lot of people and focus on that. And I'll tell you, I believe in the artistry of every student that comes into my program. I believe every single person has the ability and has something to say that is meaningful and will make a difference in our industry. So I believe in the students. So it's really kind of stepping back from that doubt and saying, okay, I'm willing to work and to trust that this collaborative process will accomplish a lot. And I always tell students, films are not made by one individual person. There's hundreds and hundreds. Anybody who sat through movies and sees the titles knows what I'm talking about. There's so many people involved. And if you try to make a movie by yourself, your movie is only going to be as good as your very best. If you work with 300 people, guess what? That movie is the best of 300 people. It's 300 people's best work. And that's the difference. So for us to really succeed, it's about it's trusting in yourself and embracing the collaborative process to become a better artist. And when you can open yourself up and say, you know what, it's okay. School is for making mistakes. That's what we're here for, is to be able to have a safe space to make mistakes. And when you can trust in that experience and that journey, then you will find your voice and your artistry.
I'd like to piggyback on that, actually. So one of the things that students don't realize when they're coming into the program is because you're doing this capstone project and you're doing something that you're passionate about, it's very much like, you're developing this baby, and when somebody tells you your baby is ugly, it's not fun. So you have to kind of graciously take that and think about it in a very objective way, a very logical way. You have to say, okay, so-and-so, I might not like it, but it might have merit. And so using that information in a strategic way to fulfill your vision is very important. A lot of people, when they get to the master's level, they don't realize that there's almost like a cultural shift between you and your course professors. At one point in your bachelor's, a lot of people go into the bachelor's and they say, okay, cool, I've got my bachelor's, but once you get to the master's, that's where you're expected to have more leadership skills, and you are expected to take on more responsibility. And then oftentimes, master's students also have started their own lives outside of school, which means that the time management, all of these skills are important across all of these masters, regardless of if, they say that there's one particular skill that stands out, focus on that for a little bit, but also know that all of these other skills are very, very important for you.
I completely agree. And I think when you look at that idea of collaboration in the game industry, when you talk to folks about the skill they want and need the most, right? It's good communication skills. When you step it to the master's level, you're our colleagues now, right? We're working together. And so that collaboration isn't just with your fellow students, it's with us. That communication shouldn't just be with your fellow students, it's with us. And so staying in good contact with your faculty, with your mentors, letting them know when you're struggling or you're unsure or you're feeling doubtful about yourself is so important, because all we want is for you to succeed. But if we don't know that you're struggling, we can't help you. If you need help finding a direction, master's programs should help you to really be able to hone your craft, what it is, as Don said, that you're truly passionate about. And so most of my master's students come in with that idea, and some don't, and they're terrified. You can see it in their faces in orientation. They're like, oh God, I don't know what I want to do, and she thinks I should know. And I go, it's okay. It's okay if you don't yet. Did you hear the guilty laugh in the audience? It's totally okay if you don't yet, because it's part of how we can help you on your journey. And it's such a wonderful moment to see someone figure out that passion, to figure out that direction and tie it into their research and tie it into their craft. And so we just have to know. You just have to talk to us and keep that line of communication open.
Okay. We now have time to take any questions from the audience. There we go.
We have a question online from Sarah Smith. She is in the digital marketing career path. She would like to know, is it better to jump right into your master's program after your bachelor's, or if you should take some time, get some experience, and then go back and get your master's?
Can I ask a question along with that question? How many of you guys went directly into your master's after your bachelor's? How many of us waited?
Good answer. Good question, but good answer.
Great question.
I think it's worth taking a little break, getting some experience, getting out there in the industry, because if you take your bachelor's, we're covering everything you could possibly do in digital marketing. And you may have had a class that you really liked or a class that you didn't really like, and you may find as you go out there in the industry and start working, those things flip around. And as you're actually doing those things, you now hate the thing that you liked. So having even just a year break where you're actually out there working in the industry, I think that's hugely, hugely helpful. That said, we do have students who go straight through for a variety of different reasons. And so I think in the digital marketing program, because we have both a bachelor's and a master's, so we're treating the bachelor's program as we're teaching specific topics from a tactical standpoint. So this is how you do search engine optimization. In the master's program, we're teaching something more strategic. How does search engine optimization fit into a bigger overall marketing plan? So they are different, but they would cover a lot of the same topics, just sort of at different levels.
I want to do a little storytelling. Okay. So many years ago, I was a creative director in a television station, and I hired a woman who had an amazing portfolio. And as I got to know her, she told me about how she went through undergraduate school at a university and got a job in Washington, D.C. for the government, and she was designing forms. Okay, that was her job, just design forms. And she got sent to a design conference up in Boston, I think she said, and she looked at the work that was being shown there, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, that's what design really is." So she went back to school and pursued her master's degree. And so I think for some, it takes a little bit of time to understand really what the field is about. And I did the same thing. You know, I had a really good job, and I worked at that for about 5 years before I decided to go back to school, because I just got to the point where I felt like I was in a rut, and I needed to get back into an educational environment so that I could push myself out of that. But at the same time, I've known many, many people that have just gone straight through because they just want to hit a higher level sooner in their lives and go with that. So there's pluses and minuses of both.
I would agree with that. There's pluses and minuses. I think I was like one of two people that raised my hand saying that I went straight through. As somebody who is a high performer and knows other high performers, it's common for them to just kind of, barrel through. Some people need that time, though. I would highly encourage that you don't jump into a master's or, even higher, maybe a doctoral degree, unless you're really passionate about that particular thing, because it can be hard, it can be difficult, especially once you have your own lives, your own family, and that kind of stuff. However, if you're coming back to school, usually that's an indicator that you guys really, truly want it, because it takes a lot more effort to come back to school than it does to go straight through. So if you go straight through, sometimes you can go through blindly without knowing what you really want to do. And then, there's sometimes when you come back, it can be difficult to come back. But you both have strengths as well. If you take time off, that allows you to overcome like any burnout that you might have experienced in your undergraduate degree, which happens. We all had senioritis. And then also it allows you to kind of really think about what you truly want to do at the end of the day. It gives you that time. I can tell you there are people well within their 30s and 40s that still don't know what they want to do, and they're still coming back to school. So don't feel like taking time off is going to be a detriment in any way.
Is it working? Okay. Hi. So I actually had a question for the business intelligence program. I believe we met before and talked, but as you were talking, basically, I've done a lot of research into, the role of like a data analysis, because that's really what I'm passionate about, and I've discovered that passion at Full Sail. And a lot of the roles in a lot of companies they need to know a lot of different softwares, programs, and coding languages such as Python, C++, Java, such and such. I was wondering with the business intelligence, what type of software, programming languages, coding do they teach? Because there's a lot that a lot of companies are looking for.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. So in our business intelligence program, the students use Microsoft Power BI. That's like the software that they master while they're in their 12-month program. It's virtually impossible to learn all of the business intelligence software options like Python and, Visio and all the different ones that they have, because there's literally, like our panel of, our program advisory committee, we talked about this and discussed like what is truly the best thing for them to learn. And they all were in agreement that Microsoft Power BI was the software that would be the easiest for a student to understand and adapt to within a 12-month period. But we encourage our students to explore other programs, because there's like around 30 to 5 different programs out there that can be used for business intelligence. And it's good to have an understanding of all of them, because you really don't know what the company you're going to be working for is going to want you to use. And so what's great is that we have lots of tutorials that are free for our students on lynda.com, and you can like immerse yourself in some of these other programs and really latch onto them if there's one area of focus that you want to focus on, and you can get certified and get certifications for completing those as well, which is really helpful.
Hello, I'm John. I'm in the RA program. I'm actually a returning student. So my question, I guess, is more towards the entertainment business side. I noticed the past 2 months since I've been here, you talked about that I've heard you can get a master's in a year or so. And I noticed a lot of RA students go towards the entertainment business side. Is there any other type of master's program? And if there is or not, can I do this online?
So the Entertainment Business Master's program is available on campus or online, so you can go either route, and both of them are 12 months long. There's really no difference in the curriculum. Like, you complete all the same assignments in the campus class as you do in the online classes. And the stuff that are discussions in the online platform are like things that are discussions within the classroom environment when you're a campus student. So it really is pretty much the same. But we do have a lot of recording arts students that complete the EBMS program. We have a lot of music production students. We have, and really all of the creative degrees is a melting pot of people with film backgrounds and music backgrounds and art backgrounds, like DAD grads. And so what's really cool about that, if you are a campus student, is it allows you to collaborate with all these people that have all different types of backgrounds and work on some really cool projects together. And so it's a lot of fun. It's a very immersive environment, and we do a lot of like project-based learning within the classroom. So rather than like an instructor just lecturing at you for 4 hours, you're actually working within groups, you're working on projects that are related to real entertainment brands. And you can really choose your own adventure. Like, if your passion is music, you can really focus on the music portion of the entertainment industry, where another student might be really passionate about film, and they might want to do all their research on the film industry. And so it gives that kind of freedom to choose your own adventure as you go through the program.
Awesome, thank you.
And don't forget, you have to market your business, whatever you do.
It's very true. Also, just a quick shout out for game design. we've had some folks come in from RA in music production that have been very successful. So if you're interested in creating sound for games, obviously an 8-month capstone working in a studio, you could be credited on as many as 3 to 9 projects as a sound designer for games. So obviously the curriculum focuses on production, user experience, and design, so you have to have passion for those as well. But it's a great preparation to lead as an audio creator for games.
So let me jump in real quick. So I know you're
Me
all
too.
here because you're interested in graduate degrees. Based upon my own experience, and I have an undergrad and a graduate degree in literature. Okay, I loved them. You know, I'm a bookworm. But what I should have done was I should have pursued a graduate degree in a discipline, something other than my undergrad. Because again, it's about diversity of skills, and you want to make yourself as marketable as possible. So having different skill sets will help prepare you so much better, you know, for the job market. So all of you keep that in mind.
Yeah, and if you like film, let me just throw my program into the hat, because I get a lot of students that they're coming from RA and they come into the film program because they want to be sound designers or post sound designers, and so they want to learn more about the production process. So it's really sort of also how you want to apply your audio experience and what kind of realm and what kind of field. Is it business? Is it game? Is it film? And that can help you as well. So just know there's lots of people.
The media design program.
Well, thank you all for being here and for allowing us to educate you about the great master's degrees that we offer here at Full Sail. So we do have a few of our admissions representatives here that could answer additional questions if any of you have additional questions. But with that, that's a wrap.